How's it going, everybody? We are live for another episode of the Off and Turn One podcast. Mike, I think I could start doing AJ's job
Yes, you can.
soon. Finally getting into a rhythm with this darn thing, producing and going live and all that. But anyways, I'm Gary. That's Mike Campigio. We're here. We're going to talk about racing and other things. Hopefully not the Bears versus Colts. This isn't a sports podcast, but it might slip out every once in a while.
It may. It may make a
It
few
may not.
appearances.
I mean, it was just a terrible game anyway, so. But anyways, let's go ahead and dive right into it. I've got the Xfinity results here in front of me. We could talk about Xfinity a little bit. I don't know how much of that race you got to watch on Friday because you're out and about, but supposedly it was Dale Jr.'s final NASCAR sanctioned start, allegedly.
Allegedly.
So we'll see how long that lasts. He says in 2026 he's not going to run, so he can focus on broadcasting and being good at that with the new broadcast partners. He's got TNT and Amazon to deal with next year. But overall, I mean, it was kind of mid. It's a mid race. You did have a little bit of chaos, but nothing extravagant like you had back in, what was that, 2021 between Allmendinger and Cindric there at the line crashing each other.
Yes.
And so it wasn't anything spectacular like that, but I thought overall it was a pretty good race. You had your comers and goers, and Allgaier entered the regular season finale for the Xfinity Series. It was the regular season finale with a 43-point lead over Cole Custer. Well, guess what?
He lost it all.
He lost it all. He didn't win the regular season title. It was Cole Custer. Cole Custer won the race. Allgaier got involved in some stuff early. He got his rear bumper taken off by a lap car in the first caution, and then in the following caution, he bounced off of Sheldon Creed and into the inside wall. And I think he ended up finishing like 4 laps down in like 30th or something crazy like that. Didn't get any stage points. Cole Custer got the stage points and won the race. That was the difference. Was mostly those stage points, but things happen, and Cole Custer gets his first win at Bristol, I believe, or at least in the night race. I don't know if he won in the spring race or something in his first, stint in Xfinity with Stuart Haas in the 00. But there you go. So, but I saw this tweet and I got a kick out of it because it really felt like me when I'm doing virtual racing, let alone racing the real thing. Gotta go find it here.
Is it the one? Is it the one with Dale Jr. with the radio and all that stuff in the glasses?
It was a Jeff Gluck tweet. I don't know if you saw it,
Oh,
but it was about his Xfinity run. There were only, by the way, there were 85 laps to go. That's the last line of the tweet. Let's see. Major radio issues at the start. About loses his mind. Eventually pits several times for a new helmet. Didn't work. New wiring harness. Not sure it worked. And has a push-to-talk radio attached to his chest. Drops to last place several times. Lost his glasses while taking his first helmet off. Thought they were on the floorboards, but the team found him in the old helmet, and then he pit again to get his new glasses back.
Wow.
And that was under another pit stop. He flipped off Riley Herbst, felt bad, and offered him beer afterwards. Radio fell on the floor and turned the volume all the way up, and he asked the spotter to speak softer. That's kind of impossible at Bristol. It's all or none there. And then radio ended up in the water bottle holder, and the water bottle ended up in an unknown location in the car. Oh, and he was running 6 with 85 laps. So Dale Jr. had a very eventful race last year. I would say more eventful than catching on fire last year.
Yep.
I guess he ended up saying after the race, he told Marty Snyder, I guess the Hans device that he was using, or the harness for the radio or whatever, I guess they had won earlier that year. Maybe some champagne got in it. This affected everything, but apparently it did. So, but
interesting.
It was an entertaining 300 laps. I thought it was pretty decent racing. It was way better than the Cup race. We'll talk about that here in a minute. Chandler Smith won stage 1, pretty dominant, honestly. He had the car to beat early on, and then stage 2 with pit strategy. I know it's pit strategy, but it's still cool to see an underdog win in stage 2. Jeremy Clements, I think that was his first ever stage win in his 500,000 starts in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Cool to see him run up front. He had a pretty decent car. I mean, he ran top 15 most of the night. So, I mean, really, who had a good race? Obviously, Cole Custer won the regular season title and put him in a good spot for another title run, and won the race and won the regular championship. So obviously, he had a good night. Chandler Smith's fifth top 10 in a row, finishing third. Sheldon Creed finished second. I swear, if they paid all the winnings for second, Sheldon Creed,
he'd be a millionaire. He'd be a millionaire right now.
He would have a season championship. He is just that good when it comes to finishing second. I think it's a record now. He's got 13 career second place finishes. That's a record.
Mm-hmm.
Before your first win, not just a general, but before your first win.
I think I saw Jeff Gluck tweet. Was it him or tweeted somebody tweeted that Sheldon Creed's going to win the Xfinity Series championship, being how consistent he is. So it's like, I don't know if it was Jeff Gluck or not. It might have been some other press reporter, but somebody I saw on Twitter was like, yeah, Sheldon Creed's going to win the Xfinity title.
He might be able to pull Daniel Hemrick and just win the final race out of the final corner. That'd be his first Xfinity win. Yeah, Allgaier led the opening 60 laps, and then was involved in 3 incidents, and a pit road penalty. So 4 incidents total, finishing 30th. That was his race. Next week is a playoff opener, September 28th at Kansas Speedway. I thought the Xfinity race was overall. I mean, what did you think of it? I don't know how much you got to catch of it, but
I saw the last probably 100 laps or so, but I thought it was very entertaining the last 100 laps, and I was very interested to see how that race went green. I think Junior recovered to a 6th place finish, I believe. Junior recovered too, which was good to see.
He got a top 10. I think it was like 6th or 7th or something.
But it was very good. It was probably the best race of the entire weekend, to be honest. And what did you think of the CW broadcast? Because I know it's all NBC Productions this year, and it's not technically NASCAR Productions till next year. But what did you think of the CW?
I mean, it seemed like a regular, normal NBC broadcast. Just they changed out the logos on everything, except when you went to the booth and you saw on the lower left-hand corner, right by Rick Allen, still had the NASCAR NBC logos everywhere.
Oh wow! Okay,
I thought it was funny. I didn't want to say nothing, but I thought it was hilarious. Like, come on, guys, change that to the CW already. Yeah, that's where we're at. But no, I thought otherwise it was a pretty good broadcast. I mean, I didn't know.
Massively. We probably won't notice that till February.
Right. Yeah. The only complaint that I have is YouTube TV here in Indianapolis does not show the CW. And you can't watch live on the website or on their app.
Oh, that's lame. That's lame.
You could stream it the next day. Because
that makes all the logic in the world. Like, come on, people.
Thanks to Joe. Shout out to Joe Hutchie. Were able to watch the Xfinity race because he had the CW on his YouTube TV in Florida. So hey, we got to watch it. Yeah, YouTube TV, Indianapolis. Work
Fix your stuff.
W, come on, need you on YouTube. Personally, I like Channel 8. Anyways, that's probably why I don't watch local news much on YouTube TV. Is because I really don't care for the local affiliates. So there you go. But yeah, I thought the Xfinity race was solid. Another Bristol race. Top 10 running order for the finish. Cole Custer, of course, with the win, and the highpoint.com board. It was interesting not seeing Haas Tooling or
Chase Briscoe's pumps or Chase Briscoe running that car.
What's it called? Andy's Custard or whatever on the car. Yeah, it was a Chase Briscoe sponsor. Anyways. And then Sheldon Creed in second there with the Friends of Jason Foundation Toyota. He led 28 laps. By the way, Custer dominated and led 104 laps on Friday night. Chandler Smith in third. Fourth was Jesse Love. Fifth was Ryan Truex. Shout out to Ryan Truex on finishing fifth. Good for him. Another solid run. He finished 9th on stage 1, 3rd in stage 2, and then finished the race in 5th. So really solid night for him. Brandon Jones in 6th. Dale Earnhardt Jr. 7th. Ryan Truex 8th. Sam Mayer 9th, and Allmendinger rounding out the top 10 there. For a couple of shout outs, because these are little small teams. Anthony Alfredo finished 11th after starting 3rd.
He
So
had the pumpkin spice dude wipes sponsorship that
something
race.
like that. He also had the one stop all south. But no, that was yeah, it was the Dumpkin Spice Dude Wipes Chevrolet for Anthony Alfredo, and then of course Jeremy Clements with all of his small companies finishing 12th there. The one stop all south electric Chevrolet, 6 in stage one, 1 stage 2, as we mentioned, led 17 laps. Pretty solid night, and usually that Clements team they always run pretty. They're always within the top 15, top 20 there. So
Mm-hmm.
good to see those guys run really well. The Cup race was a snoozer.
Did you want to talk about trucks before Cup?
Oh yeah, we did have a truck race, didn't we? That was kind of a snoozer too, wasn't it?
It was a little bit. I had the results already pulled up for you for the trucks.
Yeah, go
So
ahead.
Lane Riggs, 2 in a row.
That was good to see.
That was good to see too. Didn't pop his shoulder out this time. He kind of learned from his first mistake in Milwaukee. So Lane Riggs, 2 in a row, kicking off the playoffs with back-to-back wins, even though he's not in the playoffs. If he would have made the playoffs, he'd be a championship favorite right now, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Corey Heim finished second. Raja Cruz, shout out to Raja, finishing third. That Hendrick.com truck, I should say. Christian Eckes fourth. Nick Sanchez fifth. Matt Crafton sixth. Chase Purdy seventh. Ty Majeski eighth. Stuart Friesen in ninth. And Tyler Ankrum rounding out your top 10. But the big news going into Kansas, because I believe Kansas is their first elimination race of the playoffs. Ben Rhodes, the defending series champion, is below the cut line. So Ben Rhodes is going to need basically to. I think he needs to win and get in. That is basically what his thing at Kansas is going to be.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So their next race is Kansas. That's great. 134 laps on Friday at 8:30. The Kubota Tractor 200. So that'll be on FS1 and MRN. For those of you that can't afford the cable stuff, you can listen to it on MRN on their app or Sirius XM, or find your local affiliate.
But I thought the race overall it was okay. I just was surprised at how calm it was, because normally for a truck race at Bristol, it's not that calm.
Yeah. I think part of it is it's the first race of the weekend there. The trucks don't have a whole lot of power to run the outside line like they used to. I remember when they first reconfigured Bristol 07, the first couple of years they had the trucks there for the fall race 07, 08, 09, when they had power back then, 2010 even, that they could run all over that place, and it was great because they had the horsepower. Now it's just kind of like, okay, it's an ARCA race. It's an ARCA race with a truck body. That's what it is. I'm sorry, NASCAR, but put the power back into your cars. I mean, it's really not that hard to figure out, but you're worried about the cost of the engines. They're the same cost.
Yep.
The same cost. Figure it out, NASCAR. Seriously, because you're going to kill your sport by not allowing these cars to go fast. But what the heck do we know, right?
We just watch and commentate. We're not smart. I mean, we're not smarter like those people are, supposedly.
Yeah. Yeah. So their next couple playoff races, they get Kansas elimination race. That is the third race of the round of 10. And they only have then they have 3 races for the round of 8: Dega, Homestead, Martinsville, and then of course Phoenix to wrap up the season, which shouldn't be at Phoenix Raceway, but here we are. We'll just put a very mid race as the final race. Oh, but it's great. It's got all the amenities. Screw your amenities. Go to a racetrack. Have fun. Put your phone down for a few hours. It's great. If you're so worried about getting your stories right, use your phone, or use this thing called
notepad
and paper and a pen.
Yep.
Do it the old school way. Anyways, I could go on rants for hours, but I'm not going to, because I'm going to save it for the Cup race. Cup race was awful. I'm just going to be, I'm maybe over-exaggerating a little bit, but I was not impressed with that Cup race on Saturday night. Let's say you.
Well, me and my dad were talking about it, and since him and I normally watch the races together, and him and I were having a hard time believing that was the same tire that it was in the spring. Or some, it was such, I mean, I guess temperature, if you want to argue temperature made a big factor, but
for
me,
they changed the setups too, because to make it so where those tires are last.
But it's just a racing in general. I mean, it was just no passing. It was just a snooze fest. I mean, Larson just flat out kicked everybody's ass. But I mean, That was probably the worst, I think, of the 12 was it 12 years? No, 10 years we've been doing this format, that's probably the worst elimination race I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I knew some people that were in the stands on Saturday night, and I said, was the race as bad as in person as it was on television? And they said it was. So pretty bad race, pretty sad. Um, you just there's nowhere to go. Can't really pass anybody, at least cleanly. So yeah, it's just going to be a very mid race at Bristol
That PJ
for the
one
foreseeable
didn't
future.
that PJ one didn't do anything, and even Chris Gabehart,
Oh,
Denny Hamlin,
there's PJ1 on the track. I didn't even
there
notice.
was they
Hmm.
applied it.
Hmm.
But Chris Gabehart had an interesting quote after post race, and
Yeah.
he was saying that going forward, that Bristol is just going to be a terrible race anymore. He goes, the old Bristol's not going to come back ever.
No. I mean, after what they did in '07, man, it's cooked. They cooked themselves trying to go with this progressive banking and flat straightaways and all this. Yeah, no, I mean,
That was I never liked the decision in the first place to do it. What they had was fine.
I mean, it didn't need to be repaved after almost 20 years.
Probably.
Sure, I mean after 15 years, 16 years. The winters in Tennessee, I wouldn't say they're harsh like up in or Chicagoland Speedway that racetrack is, but I mean they still get a lot of ice storms, and sure they still get bumps and bruises on the racetrack after every winter. But I mean, if you need to repave it, but don't sit here and tear up the whole racetrack and then create progressive banking.
Mm-hmm.
Let Bristol be Bristol. Make it 36 degrees again and in the corners and 16 degrees on the straightaways. Bank that track out and make it fast. It's called the world's fastest half mile for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Make Bristol great again. I don't know. I'm pulling a Donald Trump here with my, make things great again. But
I mean, you can argue that with Richmond too. I mean, Bristol and Richmond nowadays are just mid.
And I think part of it is the car. I mean, you get these cars out here with no horsepower. Like that's what made the short tracks really good. Was when these cars had, 750, 900 horsepower, 1,000 horsepower. The guys had to take care of their stuff for a whole run.
And probably the
race.
shorter tire too. The shorter tire width too would be a helper too, because these large tires is just it's not anything. No,
not it.
And I'm afraid for Martinsville, because Martinsville is the cutoff race, and it's like, and if you watch the spring race is just a snooze fest too.
It's grab a gear and disappear. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, with the sequential shift of the way that it is, it's grab a gear and disappear. It's not really anything extravagant. I mean, it is what it is at Bristol and Martinsville and these places. And I know I always looked forward to those races on the schedule. Now it's just like the Xfinity race on Saturday. Cool, I'm gonna watch that.
Yeah, I mean a truck race on Friday night.
Second tier series is putting on the best racing.
Yep.
You have a problem.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm preaching to the choir, but I mean, ridiculous.
I will even argue too that the truck race on Friday night at Martinsville would be half a way more better than the Cup race on Sunday at Martinsville that weekend.
Yeah.
It won't be as good as Xfinity, but
right.
it'll be better than Cup.
And the problem is with the PJ1 stuff. We'll go back to that, right? We know that like on Thursday night with the truck race, that's all they run, and they run it right off the racetrack. They need to go in and reapply it for every race because Xfinity is going to be the same way.
Oh yeah.
And you do get a glimpse of old Bristol when they put that PJ1 down
for half the race.
Yeah, like I don't know, apply it after every stage or something. I mean, I don't know how long it takes to put that crap on the racetrack, but shoot, do something. I mean, and I'm not a fan of PJ1 or this other crap they put on there, but
yeah,
resin, whatever it's called. But I mean, if it's gonna make the race good, shoot, apply it everywhere.
I think too, going to the Cup race on Saturday, if you have Daniel Suarez running 3 laps down in 35th place or 32nd place, making the cut line over like Martin Truex Jr. and Ty Gibbs and the rest of those guys, 3 laps down, and none of those other guys can get positions, that's sad.
Yeah, Trackhouse completely missed the setup. They got lucky.
Oh, they did.
They got lucky on Saturday. They really did. I mean, they completely missed the setup all weekend though on the 99. Absolutely, just missed it the entire week. The one car was great. I don't know if they just didn't take the setup from the one car and put it into the 99. I don't know, but it was awful.
Yeah. I was talking with my dad last night, especially late in the race when Gibbs and like Suarez were like right next to each other for like the last 30, 40 laps of the race. I said to him, I said, watch Ty just be like, oh, I can't make the playoffs. Like I'm 9 points below the cut line. Oh, Daniel's right in front of me. See ya. Just send him. I thought he was gonna do it.
He tried, but you can't spin anybody out in this car.
No, because he tried spinning Eric Jones like a few laps later, and Jones
I
didn't spin out.
mean, there were a couple people that tried to spin out Eric Jones last night, but I mean, it didn't work. You can't spin anybody out in this car because everything's so glued to the racetrack. Like, narrow your tire width, up the horsepower. You'll have a much better car. But NASCAR doesn't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that.
Oh, they'll go to Kansas on Sunday, and we'll have another fantastic finish like we did in the spring, and everybody will be like, "Whoa, we're back! Woohoo!
No,
yeah!"
we're not. No,
But you know that's what happened. Though.
I know, but we're so not back. We are not.
Don't get me wrong though. As we quickly look forward to Kansas, though, I will say next gen car on mile and a half is decent. That's
yeah. I mean, we struggled with the mile and a half for 15 years, and we finally got a car that's good enough at the mile and a half, but sucks everywhere else.
Yep.
Plate racing, road courses, short tracks, and where are the most exciting races typically? Those
All
three
three
that
of
I
those.
just mentioned.
Yep.
So they need to fix it. I mean, sure, the finish at Watkins Glen was exciting, but I mean, if you look at the previous 90 laps, was it
Not
really
really.
that great of a race?
No.
I don't think so. I thought it was just an average Watkins Glen race. I mean, now, and don't get me wrong, y'all. I'm not saying that they got to have last lap 2012 at Watkins Glen every single lap. Okay, I'm not screaming for that. But when you make it impossible to pass after 5 laps on a restart or on a start of a stage or the start of the race or whatever, it's not a good product. I'm sorry. And you can't just move anybody out. Oh, look at what Pusher did. He moved. Okay, I'm ready for the fans to come after me and say, oh, look what he did to SVG. He moved him out of the way. Okay, that's
but
different.
SVG missed. Yeah, SVG missed the corner though.
SVG missed the corner. Wasn't even close. Wasn't even close. Missed the corner. All right. He did stuff like that. Okay, he was focused on stuff like that, and he was focused on the champagne. Okay, he was focused on drinking, getting drunk after the race. That's what he was focused on. And then he got the win taken away because he missed the corner. I mean, simple as that. If I was Chris Buescher, I would have done the same thing because he moved me out of the way out of turn 1 on the restart.
Oh yeah.
What's fair is fair. Now I know you supercar fans are like, oh, well, that's not fair because that's not how it is in Australia. Okay, screw Australia, screw the FIA. Okay, they're finding people for saying the F word.
We won't touch on that since Rambler's not here for the F1.
We don't talk about Formula 1, but I mean, hey, it's there. I think it's great though. By the way, solid F1 race. Better than the Cup race. Say that.
I heard Lando won again and cut into
Verstappen.
And he cut into Verstappen's championship gap too, isn't it?
Look, Lando could get the maximum points, okay, for the rest of the season.
I'm pretty sure.
And Verstappen can finish second the rest of the season. And Verstappen was still with the championship.
I'm pretty sure that they're off now for another month because they don't race till October, like the end of October at Austin. I think is the next race.
Isn't this like their summer break or something that they take?
They're actually going to be. No, they already took their summer break, but this is going to be like another month break. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, well, I know that they usually take some time off between coming to the States and whatnot. But yeah, so yeah, because their next couple races are at Austin and then they go to Vegas. Isn't that right?
They're going to Austin, they're going to Mexico, Brazil, and then Vegas.
Why don't you just move Singapore up to where Austin is? And then you can spend the next 3 races in North America. And you don't have to go like...
Right.
Never mind. Formula 1's stupid. People don't plan out logistics. They don't. I mean, they just expect the teams to pay all the money. All right, so the eliminated drivers in the Cup race last night, you kind of talked about them a little bit, but we're going to talk about them again. Ty Gibbs, everybody in our chat was excited when Ty Gibbs. Martin Truex Jr., Rob was heartbroken. Feel for the kid. I do. Poor Rob. Your favorite driver didn't make it. Jeff Gordon has literally been the only exception to the rule as far as going out final season on a high note. Ask Jimmy Johnson and Kevin Harvick.
Yep.
Ask me how their final season. Okay.
That's Tony Stewart.
Thank you. That part. All right. Brad Keselowski and Harrison Burton. Personally, I mean, Harrison Burton was kind of a waste of a spot anyways. You all know how I feel about the stupid playoff format. Should be 10 drivers. I don't care. You can't change my mind. And don't tell me 12. I'm not going to listen to you. It's 10. It needs to be 10. We shouldn't be having a third of the field in the playoffs with 12. I'm just saying, make it 10. 10's a good number. 10's a good number. 10.
Mm-hmm.
Not 12, not 16, not 18, not 20, 10. 10 drivers.
No eliminations.
No elimination. Just, reset the points, seed it by wins, boom, done. Go after it. 10 weeks. Or I have a crazy idea. Ready for this?
Playoffs.
This is a crazy idea. We haven't done this since 2003. Ready for this?
Hey,
How about we just award the guy that did well all season? And whoever has the most points after 36 races wins the championship. Oh, man, that's just so complicated. Most complicated thing in sports. But we have to be like the NFL and let the 6th seed guy have a chance and win the Super Bowl. That would be the NFL. Have to be the MLB. Have to do it. Have to playoffs.
Even college football now up to 12.
We have to be like these stick and ball sports. Go look at IMSA. Go look at IndyCar. Go look at Formula One. As much as I give a crap to Formula One, go look at the V8 supercars. They don't have the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And they award it to the best season, best driver at the end of the season by who has most points.
Mm-hmm.
It's not hard. It really is not a hard formula. They've done it for 100 years. It's great. Not hard. Okay, here we are. But yeah, advancing to the round of 12, Kyle Larson, no shock. Christopher Bell, no shock. Tyler Reddick, no shock. These are really no shocks, but here we go. Kyle Larson, Chris Bell, Tyler Reddick, William Byron, Ryan Blaney, Denny Hamlin was kind of a shock.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, he was going to a good racetrack for
Yeah.
him, so he was going to probably make it.
Chase Elliott, Joey Logano, Austin Cindric.
Yep, he
All
was
right.
plus. He had a good first round.
Okay, good for him. Daniel Suarez shouldn't be there. Alex Bowman, and Rob's going to say that Alex Bowman shouldn't be there. But anyways, Chase Briscoe. That's your round 12.
I will argue this for Alex Bowman. He did a really good job of points in those first 3 races of the playoffs, and he deserved to be there because he locked himself in early based on points. So he did.
Hey Rob, are you watching? Are you listening? We think Alex Bowman is good.
We'll see if he gets out of the round of 12 because that's the next hurdle for him personally.
Yeah.
Because out of the 400 guys, I see Byron, Chase, and Larson getting to the round of 8. Bowman will be the question mark.
Give me your other 5 drivers that make it to the round of 8 then. Since we're here, you already named off of almost half, so we might as well.
I'll go Ryan Blaney, Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano. I need one more, right?
You said Denny Hamlin,
Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney. So I need one more, right?
I'm at 6.
Tyler Reddick. Oh, you're at 6?
Hold on, do it again.
So we'll go Chase Elliott.
Okay.
Kyle Larson.
Uh-huh.
William Byron.
Uh-huh.
Joey Logano.
Uh-huh.
Denny Hamlin. Ryan Blaney. And I'm trying to think. Tyler Reddick.
I'm only counting
more?
7. Say Denny Hamlin,
Sure.
we'll move on.
I already said Hamlin.
Oh, okay. Well, that's it then. Okay, cool. I didn't hear you say Hamlin. I guess I just automatically tune out whenever I hear his name in existence. Anyways, my round of 8, Larson, Chase Elliott, Tyler Reddick. I think he's going to go round of 8. Hell, I think he's going to championship 4, to be honest with you. Logano. I'm going to go out on a limb. This is an actual limb.
Mhm.
Chase Briscoe. Did I say Logano?
You did.
Okay. Hamlin. I need one more.
Yep.
This is painful. Did I say Ryan Blaney?
No, you have not.
All right, Ryan Blaney. There you go. There's my top 8. That's my 8. I want to go back. I'm not writing any of this crap down. So if you want to go back and see who my contender radar, there you go. That's it. But this is gonna be an interesting round of 12 here. We got Kansas, the Roval, and Talladega. It's just like round 1 of the playoffs.
Basically, except putting in a mile and a half. That's really the only difference.
Yeah, pretty much, and a true mile and a half. Might I add? Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. Oh, and we also got IMSA for the next year. So let's talk about the real race that happened today during the Colts Bears game. By the way, IMSA, NFL, y'all need to get your crap together because you gave everybody a choice in Indianapolis whether to watch 6-hour racing in the rain or to go watch the Bears game and the Colts game. You know what the people of Indianapolis probably chose?
Colts
game. Why?
I did
because it's dome, sweet dome, baby. We got a dome and it's set to 72 degrees.
I will say this for the people that was in attendance. I saw a tweet from David Land, and David Land was saying that the scoreboard around the video monitors around IMS were showing the updates of the Colts score every half hour.
Oh, well, that's good. Hey, I mean, I probably would have had it on my phone, sitting in the stands today, just gonna watch.
There's a few people in the infield for the most part. I think the weather drove a lot of people away.
I think so too, and me, myself included. I mean, I had a couple other issues today. I wasn't feeling that great when I woke up, and I got my knee issue and everything else. So I was just like, I'm just gonna stay home today. Stay home. But I went to sleep. I woke up and I saw that Ray Hall, Letterman, Lanigan Racing won the 6 hours of Indianapolis. That's what I woke up to. It was basically a Penske Ganassi battle for the entire thing, for the most part. I mean, Wayne Taylor was running pretty good. This race, I know they were talking about fuel at the end for everybody, but it was really 6 hours survival. It truly was an endurance race. You had action packed pretty much every hour. I need to figure out something with the GTPs with their energy because I've noticed that some of their durability issues. They need to work on that. Teams do.
Well, I think too. Along with that, I think Felipe Nasser in that 7 Penske Porsche.
Yeah,
Penske,
I wasn't happy that they stopped in the middle of the racetrack. That was dumb.
Yeah, but also with him, he was out of power steering the entire event, and he was like a catwalk. Like the last, at least what I saw, he was like a catwalk out there.
Look, I get it's your boss's race. I get it that you're championship contending. But don't go out there and deliberately tell your driver on the front straight, hey, just stop and recycle the car.
That's a dangerous spot, too. That is a very dangerous spot.
You're going to do that on a front stretch where it's concrete canyon? Really? Are you dumb? Go on the pits. Don't bring out a caution for that. That's stupid. It caused a caution. That's dumb. They should have been penalized for that. And they probably weren't because it's Penske. Race manipulation at its finest. Team cheat. That's what they are. That's what they are in IndyCar. That's what they are in IMSA. And shoot, they could get it away with it in NASCAR. They'll probably do it in NASCAR.
So I heard for a few people today on Twitter, they were complaining about IMSA's having a problem this year of long caution flags that shouldn't be that long.
Well, yeah.
And I guess they had
NASCAR. What do you expect?
No, that's true. But I guess that's been a thing all season that people have been complaining about.
I will say today they kind of needed it because I was looking at the radar. No, I wasn't there at the track like I thought I was going to be today. But the rain was getting pretty massive, and I've been to the Speedway many times, rain and shine. It was looking, it was pouring, and sometimes, not always at IMS, they do have pretty good drainage, but it can get pretty floody there in the infield. So they did a right call when they were having the cautions go for 30 minutes. I know it wasn't sexy, it wasn't great, but it needed to happen. Joe is saving me here. We got go away, Ed. Thank you.
What's he saying?
He just sent me an article. Racer article. You think I got time to read and talk about my show here, Joe? Yeah, I got time for all that.
Is that the article that they were talking about post race that they're shutting? They had to keep all the GTP cars like impounded or something.
Yes, this is the article. This is exactly it.
Okay, I did see that pop up on my Twitter feed today.
Yeah, so doing a special impound immediately following the Indy 6-hour race on the Bricks Endurance Race at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The routing of the hybrid-powered Marquis class to Parc Fermé. What? Did I say that right? I'm not Italian. I'm just a stupid American from the West. Did I say that right?
Yeah, I think you
Somebody help
did.
me out. Anyway,
You did.
is being done to conduct extensive technical inspections of the cars at an as-race condition to perform stringent checks of each model's bodywork, powertrain, suspension, and all other key systems to ensure they comply with their specific, and now in their second year homologation. I said that wrong. Regulations. See, their crowd. They think they're talking to a bunch of rich people that can read. I can't read. Like, give me some fifth grade words here, Marshall Pruitt. Anyways, so apparently they knew about this going into it, I guess.
Interesting.
But the race is in a couple weeks over at Petit Le Mans.
And that's the championship race, correct?
That is a championship race. So
that's always a fun event, though, because it's 10 hours, right?
10 hours, yep. So random areas are chosen for deeper technical inspection at every race, but it's rare to see them do a nose-to-tail dive into every car due to busy schedules. With weeks until the season finale, the timing was optimal to perform the in-depth reviews. So, I mean, hey, I haven't seen them do that. I don't know much about IMSA. I know NASCAR likes to do take cars back to the R&D kind of thing, so maybe that's similar. NASCAR owns IMSA, so maybe that's part of it. Shout out to Joe for finding this article for me. Thank you, sir. That's something to talk about. What's your thoughts on the on it? I mean,
just the race overall, or just the article?
Just the inspection thing. What do you think? Sounds normal to me, I guess.
To me it sounds normal, but I guess if you want to say if people want to be like, oh, I don't know if that's normal or not, just because of the championship race being next, I mean, I guess you can make that argument, but to me it seems like it's normal and everybody knew about it, so it's like, okay, it's not that big of a deal.
And plus, I mean, a lot of these cars that run in IMSA also run in the WEC. Yes, I called it the WEC, and if you don't like it, get over it, because I'm gonna say what I want. It's the WEC, okay. I guess they don't have any more races, or maybe they're at towards the end of the WEC schedule. That's the only thing I could think of as to why they think now is the proper time, because a lot of, especially Penske, I don't know if they have one or two cars that run in the WEC series, but
I think they have two. I think them
they
and
have two.
Ray
Okay,
Hall,
and I know Ganassi has one, and I think
BMW has two.
yeah. So I mean, for those teams to basically have both cars running in both series, I mean, it makes sense of why they can't do an in-depth inspection for every race like this. So for the end of the season, hey, kind of makes sense. I mean, because if you think about it, I mean, really the only other time that you could probably do it would be after Daytona, because they have that race in the middle of January, and the next race isn't until the middle of March.
Mm-hmm.
So, and plus, it's like, well, if you do it at the beginning of the season, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I mean, everybody's going to be following their rules to a T. So it's like, hey, let's see if they're doing anything sneaky here in the last couple weeks. Which, I hope Penske gets nailed hard, because they probably are doing something. Even though Penske says he doesn't like to cheat. Looking at you, push to Penske, looking at you. I know I have my guy back here in the background. I really need to change my background.
I was waiting for you to put that in there.
But push to Penske. Come on, let's figure that out. All right. Okay. So that's that. IndyCar news. You probably didn't think there was IndyCar news, did you? Did you hear about what happened this week?
Talking about
Speaking of RLL.
I thought it wasn't that David Malukas got signed too for.
Well, I mean, he did get signed.
I was gonna say that.
He got signed to AJ Foyt.
Did he? Okay.
You didn't hear about the raid?
Oh, I didn't hear fully about it, but I heard the memes about it.
Oh, they got raided. And honestly, Joe's kind of right. It wouldn't shock me if RLL is shut down. at least in their IndyCar operation going into next year.
So can you explain full detail or not as much detail as you can about what
Yeah, I
happened?
mean, they had a raid. So apparently there was a engineer that worked over at Andretti's, and I guess when he left, he took some very important information to RLL
Mm-hmm.
about what they were doing for their shocks. Now, in IndyCar, it's basically a kit car series, kind of like how NASCAR is now. But IndyCar, it's been kit car for a decade or more. The only place where they could be innovative with their stuff is shocks and springs, just like NASCAR. So I guess this guy went over to RLL and was like, "Hey, I have all this information from Andretti about their shock program. Maybe we should try this." And somehow Michael Andretti got word of it.
Oh boy.
So yeah, the FBI's involved. So it's not a threat to the public, but it's what they call a white collar crime.
Wow.
So I watched this from the. So I'm no expert. I'm just going to sound smart here for the next 30 seconds. Basically, a white collar crime is theft of essentially any kind of data, any kind of information, or any kind of idea. So pretty much at this point, public, what they got raided, they're going to look to see if any information was stolen, essentially. Why Michael Andretti is getting a wild hair up his butt to look at this, I have no idea. No clue. Because you know what? RLL runs like crap. I wouldn't really worry about them if I was Michael Andretti, but Michael Andretti wants to pick on the little guy. So here we are.
Interesting.
Personally, I think Michael is wasting his time. To put it nicely.
It's like he's got nothing else to worry about, especially with the off season. Like, don't you think he should worry about other stuff?
You would think. You'd think. But yeah, apparently he's not. Apparently he's not worried about that. He's worried about going after RLL and stealing their crap. So, but I had a feeling this is kind of good. I had a feeling this was going to be kind of a short episode this week. We're getting into this part of the season, y'all, where we've got football, we've got racing, we've got playoff baseball coming up. We got all kinds of stuff. I'm busy typically during the fall. So if I don't watch a race, it's not going to get talked about. So, kind of where we're at.
I still try to watch every single race that I can, but I mean, obviously with all the other sports on, it's like sometimes that draws my attention too.
Yeah. So, And IU football is playing really well. They got 67 votes to be in the top 25 out of the AP poll and 63 out of the college or out of the coaches poll. So who knows?
There you go.
IU might be ranked here in the next few weeks. One could hope.
There you go.
But I doubt it'll happen. But regardless, they get votes. Yes. Any final thoughts? I know it's only been 43 minutes, but
now we got a big weekend of racing coming up this weekend. Trucks, Kansas, Xfinity, Kansas, Cup, Kansas, and
ARCA their championship race in Kansas. No, it's at Toledo.
Toledo, yeah, yeah. ARCA's on Friday afternoon too. So got a big all four series really are involved this weekend. IndyCar's off season, IMSA's off, F1's off, so NASCAR's show to run next week.
Pretty much. Yeah, that'll be interesting. Moving forward. Oh, I guess we got something that we could talk about. We don't normally talk about it, but Warrior Enterprises. It's a big week. Extreme Motorsports. Oh,
yes.
We got that coming up.
Good you brought that up. Good that you brought that up.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, it was kind of entertaining this week. I'm just kidding. If you watched the broadcast, you were very entertained. Let me tell you. If you watched the truck broadcast last Tuesday night with AJ and myself, too bad Ryan couldn't make it. He'll make it this week.
You would be entertained too Wednesday night with AJ, myself, and Anthony. We had a good time in the booth on
you guys
Wednesday.
didn't have any cars upside down coming across the line, so.
No, we did not.
You did jinx Daniel Krim.
I did jinx Daniel Krim.
Sorry,
Krim.
If you're watching, I'm sorry. Chat.
I did
on Wednesday. I don't know if you heard me.
I did see it.
Sometimes you guys like to listen to the radio chat, and I said, "Wow, the commentator curse for Daniel's real today."
I did hear you say that.
Oh, you did hear me say that?
I did hear you say that. Hey, at least I cursed him this week and not next week when points are on the line. I mean, points were on the line for the duel, so
That's true.
Well,
But
I got punted out of the way on Tuesday, so I'm looking forward to starting from the back and
got
making
punted
my way
on
to the
Tuesday.
front.
Oh, right, because of the wreck. That's right.
Uh-huh.
Well, the wreck that wasn't a wreck,
Exactly. Yep.
but yeah, that still helps.
It was. I was wheeling it, man. I'll tell you. I was wheeling it and on the brake.
On the brake, on the gas, on the brake, grab a gear, disappear.
But
Um,
I'm looking forward to coming from the back on Tuesday and
it's
try to get a
Daytona.
dub.
Easy, you know, Daytona's easy.
Oh yeah.
Well, I don't want to say it's easy. I mean, it's
So you
easier, I guess, compared to like
so you
Rockingham coming
saying
from the back.
so you're saying I can go in my car at 200 miles per hour and be on my phone while I test?
You know, there are some people, I don't get how some of our teammates do it, but they can sit there and be on their phone and text and race. I can't do that. I don't have that kind of skill or
I was
stupidity.
make
However you
I
want
was
to look at
making
that.
I was making the joke of that Arca guy one year
Oh
when
yeah,
he did that.
okay, that was pretty good. But no, honestly, I think the racing on, excuse me, on Tuesday and Wednesday should be interesting. I think that's gonna be a lot calmer. Tuesday and Wednesday was kind of a wreck fest with rules this week, but I mean that's Daytona.
Oh, and that's normally how the duels go. If you think about it, even in real life, one duel is chaotic and the other one's just nice and calm.
You know, I made a comment about this last week. I don't know if people really heard me. I don't recall if I really got interviewed, but last season in Extreme, and you kind of noticed this too. I don't know if you mentioned it on your portion of the broadcast on Wednesday. I watched it, but I don't remember what was all said because there's a lot of information that gets thrown out. But
Mm-hmm.
um, last season for the Xfinity and for the Cup cars, but it's Tuesday and Wednesday, so I'm going to use the same thing, right? The
Mm-hmm.
first duel was calm. The second duel was chaotic.
It was. I remember that.
This season is backwards.
It was.
It's backwards. You had the first duel, which was chaotic and exciting, and the second duel, pretty chill, pretty calm. Both week costs are free.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, I mean that's the way it goes. You had about 15 cars, 17 cars per duel across all 4 duel races that happened between the series. So about 30-ish cars, 30-ish trucks this week. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it should be pretty exciting. A car is also happening this week. If I knew, you know what? Oh, there we go. We're back. Sorry, guys. My screen's decided to freak out there. A cars in
Looks
Iowa
like
tomorrow night, so we
yep.
got that going for us in Ryan's truck series there. With XMS at Daytona on Tuesday and Wednesday night. Should be going about on Tuesday and Wednesday. The goal is to go live by 8:35. Start to count down, do all the pre-roll stuff that you guys don't care about, but
Make the sponsors happy.
make the sponsors happy. Pay some bills beforehand. We should be going live by about 8:40 is when mics will go hot. 8:50 mics will go hot on Tuesday and Wednesday night. I don't know what time AJ goes live on Mondays. I don't pay attention because I'm usually in the car, but lot of good stuff to look forward to. I mean, I know our guys didn't do the greatest at Daytona. I know Josh and finish a second.
Give me 1 second, and I'll tell you in a minute.
I can't remember the duel. I think it was Josh and somebody on our team finished second. I can't remember who. That's terrible. And now,
hold on.
worst team owner award goes to me because I can't remember anything.
Let's see here. It was Josh and Kyle Miller.
There we go.
1 and
Kyle
2.
Miller finished second for us in the first duel on Wednesday. So, we got a good team, I think, for trucks. We got 8 trucks running. We separated them into 2 different teams, Warrior Enterprises and Crimson Knight Esports. So pay attention to those 2 moving forward as we get into the season. And then we're only just running 1 Xfinity team. So just Warrior Enterprises on Wednesday nights. So, but regardless, should be fun, should be chaotic. Daytona is always a blast. Looking forward to it. But this season's schedule is pretty unique. After Daytona, we go to Chicagoland.
Heck yeah!
And
My
it's
home
night
track.
racing. So
Oh, let's go. That's even better.
so
I'm excited for that.
did some testing the other night with some of the guys, with Kyle Miller, with Taylor Vidal was there, Daniel Krim was there, and some of the Spartan Esports guys came around. So I think it was Mike Robinson came around and a couple other guys on their team, I think. So, but that was fun. Did some testing, got some much needed tire data. Probably do another practice here this week sometime for both the truck and the Xfinity guys, just to kind of see where everybody stands. But should be a good time. Really looking forward to ACAR tomorrow, though, at Iowa. Should be a good time. Looking forward to getting behind the 27 off of Turn 1 Podcast Chevrolet. Or it might be the JP Custom Chevrolet. I don't know.
Tune in to find out.
Tune in to find out. That's exactly right. I will have an onboard camera. Kind of going to be... I got this webcam. Might as well use it. I'll be on board again. We'll have another driver cam, I think, on Monday if AJ feels like doing it. So should be a fun time. And I'm really excited for the pre-race across both series for XMS on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. I think you guys are really going to be in for a treat. Got a lot to look forward to in regards to that. I think AJ's going to have it ready. We'll see. But it's going to be big. We're going to go live a little extra early because we got a few extra things to talk about, and it's Daytona. So,
going
to be talking about team stuff. Going to be talking about, just how the races are going to play out, our expectations for the season. And we do have this fantasy thing I didn't even know about. But apparently, something about XMS Fantasy that AJ brought up on Wednesday. Saying that every Tuesday and Wednesday, we're going to be picking drivers, and everybody gets 5 picks per season.
Yep. He
Didn't
did.
know that
He
was
did
the
break
thing,
that
so
news.
I don't know who's setting that up. It ain't me, so hopefully AJ keeps track. But for those of you playing at home, we don't gamble with real money.
Yep.
But, should be a fun time. But I've babbled on long enough. You got any final thoughts?
No, I'm just looking forward to the week ahead. It's going to be a very exciting week. A lot of fun stuff going to happen. And yeah, just looking forward to it. Getting back finally into a constant rhythm here now.
Yeah.
Back racing again.
Yeah, for sure. One thing I will try to do, I haven't mentioned this to the guys yet on Tuesdays or Wednesdays, but I'll mention this in XMS too, but I would like, ideally, to have the winner from either series on the podcast for the following live session. So hopefully we can make that happen. I don't know if it will or not, but we'll give it a try, see what happens.
Cool.
Worst case scenario, we don't do it at all, and I just another idea that's gone with the wind. But regardless, this is it. I know we're kind of cutting short early, but thank you all very much for watching. This is my name is Gary. That's Mike. We'll see you next time. Same bat time. Well, can't really say same bat time. Same bat channel. Maybe same bat
bat
time.
channel.
I don't know. It kind of depends on when the cup race ends and all that fun stuff. But thank you guys very much for watching, and we will catch you all next